someone like this, you could be breathing and they will feel the need to get revenge on you. It's Deidre. Hello, it's Deidre. And today we are going to go on another deep dive into Best of Redditor updates. This is the second time we're doing this, so I'm a little excited. This one's not as long as the other one, but I guarantee you it is jam-packed with lots for us to pick through and explore. Now, if you have been enjoying these Reddit reads, don't hesitate to hit like. And if you are interested in seeing more regularly as I start posting more regularly, go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you will be notified when I post these Reddit reads. And for those of you that already are subscribed, I hope you're enjoying these more frequent uploads. As I said, this is from Best of Redditor Updates, so we have a full read of this story with updates. We love a good update. I, 27 female, think that my boyfriend, 29 male, booby-trapped our apartment. I found something and I don't know how to bring it up. This is the original post, which happened on March 9th, 2018. My boyfriend Alex and I have been together for 2 years, living together for less than 6 months. I would say that we have a fairly average relationship. We make each other really happy most of the time, but we do have our ups and downs. I'm honestly so conflicted in writing this post because I feel a little insane even thinking about the possibility of him trying to hurt me intentionally. We've been fighting a lot lately because of conflicting work schedules. I'm currently in my intern year of residency, doing a night float month, so I'm at work from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. roughly. He works during the daytime, regular hours as a CS engineer. What's CS? And we haven't spent a lot of quality time together in several weeks because of the lack of overlap. I'm going to work just as he's getting home and vice versa. I have never had any issues with physical abuse from him. He has raised his voice at me on more than one occasion, but he's always apologized, and it's been during very stressful times in our lives. His dad passed away last year. Our dog was killed in an accident on the street shortly thereafter. I hear excuses. Does anyone else hear that? Recently, though, things have been happening in our apartment that makes me feel a little crazy. I've been getting hurt a lot, and Alex keeps reprimanding me that I need to be more careful and not be so clumsy. But honestly, it feels like it's not me, but that things are being done / moved / placed. About 3 days ago, I came home from work and was preparing something to eat in the kitchen, right after he left for work and I was getting ready to sleep. I opened up one of our kitchen cupboards and the heavy door flew off one of the hinges and smacked me in the head. I have a huge goose egg and a giant bruise near my hairline, enough that several coworkers have asked me about what happened. I honestly think I had a very mild concussion from it, based on my symptoms this week. But here's the thing. As I tried to put the door back together, I couldn't find the hinge or 3 screws anywhere afterward. They should have been on the floor or the counter, and they weren't. This morning, when I got home from work and I was getting ready to go to bed, I opened up Alex's underwear drawer to get a pair of socks to wear to bed. There were the screws, the hinge, and the screwdriver. Last week, I got up in the middle of my sleep schedule to use the bathroom, and I slammed my shin into the edge of our bed. There's always enough room for me to shimmy by, but later on, when I looked at the bed and my leg, there were carpet marks like the bed had been shifted about 12 inches toward the wall, making my space smaller. I honestly feel insane, even thinking about bringing this up with him, but I don't know what to do. TLDR, I feel like my apartment is booby-trapped and maybe my boyfriend did it on purpose to hurt me. But I feel insane bringing it up. That's the whole point. That's why people like him do what they do. I'm just gonna flat out say it. This is a person who wants you to feel insane. Hopefully, as we read this, we can learn more about why he might feel the need to hurt her. Is it because she's going to school? Is it because she's doing better than him? Is he envious? Does he have low self-esteem? Does he fear that she's going out looking beautiful to school or her internship or whatever, and other guys are looking at her and he doesn't even get to see her? Who knows? Someone like this, you could be breathing and they will feel the need to get revenge on you. Let's continue reading. Here are some of the top comments. Judging in my 10 years with a narcissistic psycho, you are not crazy. Start writing these incidents down. Take pictures and keep it all logged somewhere he doesn't have access. Like your phone. You gotta be very careful with that one. I would suggest the cloud. In case it escalates, having proof will mean a huge difference if you end up having to go to the cops. That is so sad. Definitely document this. Another commenter says, also taking picture records just for yourself will help maintain your sanity. Yes, absolutely. Documentation helps a lot. If not for evidence in court, evidence to your mind, because your mind will start to forget. Especially if they're still talking to you and trying to, smooth it over and make it seem like it wasn't as bad as you thought. No. When you have the documentation, you will not forget, as you shouldn't. Frankly, he sounds like a fucking psycho from what you've written here. I could never forgive someone for hurting me like that. I would wonder if he has been doing stuff like this all along, but she did not catch on to it. Just little, micro-revenge things that he possibly has been doing their entire relation. They weren't together that long, just 2 years. It sounds like it's possible that this is escalating from something that she hadn't been noticing up until this point. But yeah, I could never forgive someone for hurting me like that. Sure, he didn't punch you, but is it really that different? He wanted a giant, heavy piece of wood to fall on your face. That's really sad. That's so sad. This is evil. This is pure evil. This is 2025, guys. There's so much brokenness out there, right now. That's why I am single. I trust nobody. I should do a video on all my red flags. I was thinking the other day, I have so many red flags that to other people, probably it won't make sense. But whatever. People are broken. Our generation is so full of unhealed adults. A lot of them don't even realize how unhealed and how necessary it is for them to go to therapy. A lot of them resist going to therapy because of that brokenness. I'm so curious what happens next in our society. Dead serious. What comes after this? What comes after all this unhealedness? I like to have faith in the fact that there are a lot of us who have gone forward to heal those things that others have neglected and become, the sandpaper for other people. I forget where I heard that, but it's okay, abrasive people. Abrasive people exist to smooth you out. Something like that. Abrasive people exist so that you don't forget what not to be. I guess someone has to, but I think there's a little too much sandpaper out there. Update. March 18th, 2018, which is 9 days later. Hello all, I just want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who messaged me with advice and input about my last post found here. Like the title states, I suspect my boyfriend was booby-trapping our apartment for some unknown reason and gaslighting me. And I was right. 2 days after I posted, our shower head came loose. Oh God. This is so sad. 2 days after I posted, our shower head came loose and sprung off at me. Smacked me in the back of the head, and due to the water pressure, I needed 8 stitches to close the wound. I texted my boyfriend about what happened, and that I needed to go into work for stitches. I'm a resident, and he was way too nonchalant. He asked if I had bumped it or anything to cause it coming off. Pure evil. I'd had enough at that point. I wasn't going to ask him about the things that were happening. I was just going to move out /on before I ended up dead. Oh my God. I made a plan that on Thursday, I would have a friend come over as soon as Alex left the apartment to help me pack my things and leave. I was so worried about any potential cameras he may have hidden. So I flipped the breaker and turned off so smart, thank you. And turned off the power in our apartment. About 3 hours into packing up, Alex came home. In the 6 months that we've lived together, he has never once come home for lunch. So there must have been a camera planted somewhere with an external power source. Oh my God. He doesn't even pretend to waltz through the door. He bursts open and gets furious and asks what the f we were doing. Not sad, not confused, straight up angry. That was the only sign I needed. All I said was, I know about the cabinet and the bed, girl. You are brave. I would not admit to knowing anything until I was out that door, not a person like this. Typically, for those listening who might be in similar situations, even if you have proof, do not confront the person that is doing these things to you. This guy has actually physically hurt her. He is enjoying watching her get physically hurt. When you confront a person like that head on about the stuff that they're doing, you're putting your life at risk. Just like she said she was afraid that she would end up dead. Her subconscious already knows what he's capable of. And I think there's more than just this. I think there's way more than this that she hasn't said here. She said he never hit me, but I don't think a person like this is an emotionally safe person in general. But then they haven't been together very long. Maybe he hit it? Who knows? I just think there's more to this. Oh God, where was I? All I said was, I know about the cabinet and the bed and the dresser, you watching me, and my jewelry. And it's done. What was the jewelry? What happened with her jewelry? What did I miss? Okay, so yeah, there's probably a lot more to this. And it's done. We're done. He responded with the standard, you are fucking insane. You're crazy. This is insane, etc., etc. This is the point where I'm thinking, am I going to end up on a Dateline NBC episode? See? Don't confront them. Please don't confront a person like this. Her heart already knows. You can see those switches in a person when you reveal stuff like that. Now he has nothing to hide from you. So guess who's going to respond to that? The monster. I yelled to my friend in the next room. She needed to call the police to come supervise while we finished packing. Alex decided to take this moment to call the police and claim that I was insane and stealing things from our apartment. Thank God she has a friend there to back her up. But all of this could have been avoided simply by getting the frick out and not confronting him until you were at a safe distance. 2 uniformed officers rolled up within what seemed like only a minute and came upstairs, thank God. I explained that I was moving out and there was abuse. I wasn't interested in pressing charges, but they needed to supervise and file a report for the documentation. I ended up finishing packing and then spending nearly an hour down at the police station, hashing everything out with the officer who arrived first. I took personal leave from work for the second half of last week, and tomorrow is my first day back. I'm staying with a friend right now until I move on with another resident near our hospital in about 2 weeks. Overall, I'm really relieved to be out of the situation, but I'm generally still pretty afraid of Alex. Yeah, you're gonna be afraid for a very long time, unfortunately. Thank God they didn't have kids. And anything he might try to do in the future. Out of an abundance of caution, I took both my iPhone, iPad, and laptop to the Apple store and had them do hard resets/wipes just in case he had planted anything. Thank God. I'm not sure how I should be feeling right now. You should be feeling amazing because you did what a lot of women can't do in this situation, and that is listen to the little voice in your gut and get yourself to safety. No matter how much you might love a person like this, sometimes you have to love a person and walk away at the same time, and that's okay to do. It doesn't mean that you didn't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. But what it does mean is that you love yourself and you're looking out for yourself, and that is not easy for people who have low self-esteem, which is why people with low self-esteem get preyed on by people like him. TLDR, my boyfriend booby-trapped our apartment and gaslit me. I moved out and I'm safe now. Thank God. That was nice. This has a very happy ending. A lot of times these stories don't get happy endings, and I'm so glad. So far she's okay. I'm kind of curious. It says concluded, but this was posted back in 2018. That's like 7 years ago. So I wonder if she's okay. Let's go to her post history and see if she's at least still active. Nothing. Nothing, unfortunately. It was probably a throwaway account, which is understandable considering the importance of keeping such things private when it comes to a person like him. I hope she's okay. There's a couple important things that we can take away from this story that I'd like to highlight. A lot of times I hear similar stories where once the victim is catching on to the nonsense that their toxic partner is doing to them on hush-hush, the partner will then turn around and try to act like the victim and say, well, I love you so much, I just can't control my impulses. I don't know why I was doing that, but I do love you so much. And that actually works on some people because those people, this is a trauma bond. They see this person as a person that needs love and care and affection in order to become a better person. But in reality, they're not trying to become a better person. They're manipulating your empathy against you so that they can continue to abuse you in such a manner. Various manners, not just like hitting. Hitting is not the only form of abuse. This is exactly why people who identify themselves, my neighbor upstairs, people who identify themselves as like empath typically run into this situation a lot where they end up with someone who takes out their unhealedness on them. It's almost like both the empath and the person that's harming them through their empathy have been hurt in the past. It's just one deals with it by becoming way too empathetic, and the other deals with it by hurting other people. Perfect combination, because this empathetic person has so much patience and understanding towards this toxic person, and they end up putting the toxic person way above them. And so they're like, no, I have to fight for him so that he can become like me, an empathetic person. He's just healing. I'm going to help him heal. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. He's already made his choice what side he's on. If he were to go on and decide that he wants to live a life of respecting other people and having healthy relationships, he will be fighting a monster till the day he dies. And not all of them are up for that type of battle. Sometimes it's easier to just be the monster. And sometimes it's far more fulfilling for a person like that to be the monster, to have control, to put others down and bring them below themselves so that they can feel a little bit better in the world. But it's low self-esteem, a lack of self-love. They really don't see themselves as someone worthy of being loved. So, in order to feel better than the person who is actually trying to love them, they end up injuring that person, not just physically, not always physically, emotionally, psychologically, playing head games, gaslighting, controlling them. Wanting to control this person makes them feel more powerful than the love that that person has for them. Another thing I want to point out, as a person with empathy myself, and I realize nowadays that it was empathy to a fault, I do want to say to my fellow empathetic people, having boundaries with that empathy does not make you a bad person. It makes you a wise person. You absolutely need to have boundaries. There are certain things that you shouldn't stand for, not just in a relationship, but just general respect for yourself in any day-to-day situation. There's nothing noble about self-sacrifice when it's a situation like this. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you more loving. It doesn't make you virtuous. It kind of makes you look a little silly. And I would argue that a person who has empathy without boundaries is just as toxic as a person who has become the monster and needs to hurt people. The toxicity is toward yourself. It's not okay to be toxic towards yourself by opening yourself up and remaining in situations where someone is taking advantage of that and walking all over you. That's not okay. You have to protect that little you inside there. Only you can do that. That little you that loves so deeply and wants everything to be okay and, everyone to heal. That little you that wants the innocence of the world, you gotta protect it. Gotta protect her so she can go on to continue spreading exactly that which she believes in. The good energy that she believes in. The healing energy that she believes in. I like the way this story ended. She did exactly what she needed to do. And I'm kind of curious what other things she might have seen in that relationship. If you are a person who is in a similar dynamic relationship at this time, please consider your own sense of self-worth. That person is not going to protect you. When you cannot protect yourself and you cannot employ boundaries that keep you safe, and they can see that, you open yourself up to people like this. No one wants to believe that they exist. What was even the reason for him to do all that stuff to her? Was there a reason? It doesn't matter if you thought there was a reason. In his brain, her sipping tea at the table would probably equal a reason to smash her in the face with a door. That's how skewed the logic is, because it's insecurity. Oh, another thing that I want to point out is when I said she was making excuses for him, such as his dad dying and their dog being killed in the accident shortly after. That doesn't excuse a person doing things like that to you. It doesn't excuse a person abusing you. It never would. And I say that because there are tons of people who lose people and experience pet loss and don't go on to handle it in a manner that harms other people. Just be aware that that's not a normal way of handling that type of thing. Sure, someone will be moody going through stuff like that, which is understandable, but this guy is actually lashing out at you, verbally abusing you, and that's not normal. It's not okay. Don't excuse it. He is showing you who he actually is. in those moments. Okay, I can talk forever about these topics, but yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment if you want to. And be sure to hit like if you enjoyed this read. Go ahead and make sure to subscribe for more because I'm posting more often, like I said. Yeah!